Hey guys, it's Steven with the Bytes chart update. I went ahead and took a few days off here just to let this downtrend play out and just let the overall market just kind of cool off. I wanted to just reevaluate my position, and I also wanted to just get a plan together. So we left off on the 19th here going into the meta tournament, and overall the meta tournament was a success. We did have about 30,000 viewers on Twitch. I would have liked to see maybe a different platform or a higher number of people watching, but overall, I would say it was a pretty good thing. Another weird thing that happened is somebody actually used cheat codes and they kind of hacked the game and they ended up winning, but they ended up getting caught, possibly because they were bragging or somebody might have spotted it out. But we did end up getting a winner, and overall, it was I would call it a success. But through this all, we just happen to have a pretty amazing downturn here with Bitcoin. Obviously, the momentum turning down here, and as well as with Ethereum. So um, just not a good thing. And with altcoins, obviously they're one of the quickest ones to go as well, especially these low market caps. So we just had a lot of panic selling, and yeah, I mean here we are. So. Um, I guess really what I wanted to talk about is just looking at everything from a long-term view, and just maybe let's talk about some catalysts for the future here. So my first video I ever did was on December 9th, and I talked about just a long-term pivot chart. I used 80, 70, and 180 for the numbers here, and I gave us the support at 40. So I never thought we'd come down here, but this definitely isn't like out of the norm for a low market cap. So overall, I'm not panicked. I think that we have a lot of opportunity now, and how we can capitalize on that is to basically we're going to need to find some utility. We're going to need to find some demand to come in here. So there has to be a catalyst. So overall, Becker has stated that um, he doesn't care about the price of bytes. He's just building, and I think that that's not a bad way to look at it, and I agree. Bytes are not the most important thing. Building a community and building utility for the community is what's important. So um, a main thing that's causing this is the fact that 700,000 plus bytes are being generated every day. And that's obviously a very large catalyst to the sell pressure. So when we have all these new bytes coming in, people using these bytes as their income, they have no choice but to sell. So until we start to see a demand for these tokens, what are we going to use these tokens for? Besides buying NFTs, we need to have something else. So going into about 2 weeks from now, we're going to have um, a season 2 citizen tournament where we're going to be competing for our land and our items. And I think Bytes will definitely be playing a role in that. And yeah, I mean, I feel like it's going to be just fine. So we could use bytes to possibly buy items in the game, maybe speculate on who's going to win. There's definitely a lot of options. We just don't know yet. So we'll just have to wait and see and trust that Becker and Elio have what a plan in store, and I believe they do. So let's just go ahead and go into the chart here. So I just created this pivot chart for this week, and we do have support at 23. And the central pivot is at 59. Double check. Yeah, so 23. I used the high of $95 where we started off the week, the low of 40, and we closed the week at 42. So overall, I think we're in a bullish position still. Another thing I wanted to talk about is basically there's going to be a floor for the price of bytes, and that floor is going to be around $30 to $33. And the reason is that there is a floor for the identity. So it costs about 2,000 bytes to redeem bytes for an identity. When you do that, you get allocated an identity, but the rarity and the traits are random. So instead of buying an identity for $65,000, what you can do is you can just buy 2,000 bytes. So that would end up being at the price of 33 bytes times 2,000. That would put us at the same price. So at the price of $33, you basically have this floor here where you're able to have a lot of upside in buying a identity if there's somebody that wants to come into the community. So I do think we're going to see an absolute floor here, and maybe we might have some sort of spike down here to this support, but I highly doubt that. And then the same would be true for the land, and the land is a little bit land's a little bit higher price, I believe. So let me just double check here. Yeah, so the land price is a little bit higher. The land is cost 500 bytes, so 500 bytes times 33 is 16,500. So right now the identity is more of the floor that I'm looking at, but it could also be that same equation can be applied to the land floor. So more importantly is the bytes to Ethereum ratio. Um, this is really more important because overall we're just trying to accumulate more Ethereum. At least I am. I want to accumulate more Ethereum, and that's a more stable way to look at it. So we did end up seeing a pretty good chart as far as the pivots. It was trying to follow that where we found some support here, try to find some support here, and then overall, even though this was last week's, this is still acting as support here. So we'll see what happens. Overall, I'm still very bullish. I think that we have a lot of opportunity here. And my plan and what I ended up doing is I ended up basically just yield farming all the way down. I just started a new position a couple hours ago. And yeah, I just want to basically just mine as much as I can. I used a very aggressive range, just really a couple dollars here, and I put in about 500 bytes. And just to show you what it looks like and why I chose this range. So I'm just going to refresh this here. As you can see, you can't even see my liquidity yet, but I'm going to show you what it looks like when you put in a bunch of liquidity in a short range here. Yeah, so as you can see, this is my range here. So um, I put in a bunch of tokens here. So as you can see, like this entire range just above this where we are now is 412 bytes. So I did about these three spots right here is my range from 0.15 to the top of the range is right over here at 0.0159. So these are my three spots here, and I'm just gonna just move my liquidity around. I'm gonna chase it. I'm not afraid to lose on upside here. So far, my liquidity has worked for me, so I'm just gonna keep to that. What can happen is as it moves above my range, I'm gonna miss out on the upside, but I don't mind doing that. I'm going to just be aggressive and just keep trying to mine as much as I can. And real quick on the liquidity, when we were at higher prices before this whole drop, we had a lot of liquidity concentrated in this areas here. And we had a situation where there was basically no liquidity in these spots here. This was much lower where there was maybe only 1 or 2 Ethereum in these spots. And now over the last couple days, we did see more people kind of spread out their liquidity and just kind of make it more even. But the result of that is we saw a very fast, very quick spike down. So in particular, right here is where we really started to see basically this huge slippage where when you want to go sell something, there was no liquidity. So if there's only like 1 or 2 Ethereum, that's only like 100 or 200 bytes. So when you have these large sell-off, the price will just completely slip down. And we're actually at the similar position here now where if we move below here, which is, two Ethereum is, that's only $10,000. That's not that many bytes. So if you have that, if we have some sort of sell off below here, there's only one Ethereum worth of liquidity here. That's nothing. That's only 300 bytes. So you can see these like kind of quick wicks come in, and then you'll see somebody kind of just scoop it up real quick. So I just wanted to point that out real quick. So for the last couple of days here, not many new holders. It's been pretty steady. So that's a pretty bad sign to me, honestly, not to see new people coming in. So we're gonna need to do more to bring in more holders, or we're not going to be able to see this price movement start to happen any soon. We're gonna have to. We're probably just gonna be stuck in this range here, honestly. So hopefully we can have some news. But like I said, we're only 2 weeks out until the season 2 tournament. So we could just be stuck in these ranges for a little bit here until we have a catalyst. One catalyst that I do know of is there's going to be possibly some sort of marketplace coming up. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Byte, Bytes Inc. Here it is here. So these guys are teasing some utility coming from Bytes, some sort of social program. I gathered that possibly there's going to be a marketplace just by a few keywords that were coming in here. So let me see if I can just pull it up real quick. Byte marketplace right here. So that's the reason why I think there could be some utility coming in, but until that happens, I'm gonna remain somewhat pessimistic and just kind of hoping that we just kind of linger around here. And I'm going to just keep mining as much as I can. So these were just a couple of the positions that I had over the last couple days. I did a few more. I was pretty wild and all over the place as far as my liquidity. I was able to make over $4,000, but I'm probably spent $1,000 in gas at least. So um, overall, I could have done better, but I just did what I could as far as trying to gain on this huge like this whole volume here. I completely missed this. So after that, I kind of came in here and just kind of try to find these ranges. So yeah, I could definitely could have done better, but I'm just gonna plan on doing what I can in the future here. So we had a 54 ETH floor here and about an 81 ETH floor here, and obviously we're down a lot. And there's definitely just some panic sellers here. They just want to get out, get their money, and maybe move on to something else. That's fine. Um, we'll be fine without them. For me, I feel it's more important just to be a part of this community. There's a lot of opportunities coming up, so I don't see any reason not to continue to be a part of this community. I don't mind if the price moves lower. I guess another hard thing to see was I was making about 130,000 a year in bytes, and obviously with the price of bytes being down, it came down to about $50,000 a year, which is still a pretty respectable passive yield type of income there. So yeah, I'm never going to complain about the price of bytes. I use these prices as an opportunity. I use my position as an opportunity to make income, and that's why I'm doing this yield farming here. I'm using these yield farming mechanisms here to still make $1,000, $2,000 a day. So I'm going to keep doing that, and I think that's the way to go. So just to go over the Bitcoin price, just to reiterate here. So this was the previous month's high and low and close, and these are the pivots that I'm seeing here. So it was 32,000 as support, 39,000 as the second support, and I just wanted to point out here. I use something called it's called the Darvis box, and basically these are just numbers that I see and I feel like the price of Bitcoin will move between. And how you use these boxes is once we're say we're coming below the box, once we're above, you can go ahead and start your bullish position. and take that all the way up to the second box. And once we're above here, you can have these basically you would play breakout trades. So once we're above here, you could take a bullish position, break below. Now we're in a bearish position. So ultimately, what I think would be the best thing is let's just have one more shakeout. Let's get everybody bearish again, get all the people who don't believe, the noobs out, and then we can actually find some support at this 34,000, 33.9 area. So that's what I'm looking for. Otherwise, we could have this kind of relief bounce and then back lower. I'd much rather see a little bit longer time here and just find a really more solid base. And that's all I got for the day. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll catch you next time.